Welcome to the webinar 9 of Plant-Based Processing series. Since last September of 2023, we have done various webinars on the subject, and the links for the previous webinars are available on our website, done by various subject matter experts on many topics which you can go and see there. Today, I will be talking about plant-based value-added processing, namely fermented products like cheese and yogurts, frozen desserts, and ingredients, all from plant-based processes. My name is Pranav. I am working with SPX Flow Technology in Denmark, located in Copenhagen, and working with SPX Flow since last 12 years, total 22 years in food and dairy process engineering. Our purpose as a company is that we want to improve the world through innovative and sustainable solutions. These two words, that is innovation and sustainability, you will hear a lot in today's presentation, in all my slides, in all the flow diagrams that I want to present, and the message that we want to put in front of you today. Here is today's agenda. Why plant-based alternatives? What is the need of it? What are the global challenges? And what solutions we have to offer? What are the most common plant-based value-added applications? Yogurts, cheeses, ice creams or frozen desserts, and ingredients. And I will also show you our SPX Flow Innovation Center's locations and our differentiators, what we can offer to the market. You are welcome to send me the questions in the chat window. I will take all the questions at the end of the webinar, but keep them coming as they arise in your mind. What you see in front of you is a process flowchart for oat-based beverages. Here we are starting from the grains and grits. It can also start from oat flour. Depending on what raw material you have in what form, the pre-processing area has to be adapted and it changes accordingly. So here, the first what we are showing is a mixing section where you put your grains and grit. It is open to air TPM mixture, which is a very basic mixture. But we have lots of variety of mixtures in our portfolio. So for example, on your right here, you can see Flex Mix Instant. This is a high shear mixture with vacuum possibilities, while this is a normal one. So depending on what you need, we can select those. After adding the raw material, it goes into these bioreactor tanks, which are equipped with the heating loops. We add actually enzyme here. We add enzyme number 1 to reduce the viscosity. So when you are heating the oat grain, which has lots of carbohydrates, these carbohydrates tends to gel. We don't want the gel because it cannot be pumped forward. So the first enzyme here is added to reduce the viscosity. And the second enzyme is added to break the complex carbohydrate into glucose, so you get natural sweetness into the product. Many of you who have tasted oat beverage in the market, in the supermarket, buying from there, you might have seen that the product is tasting very sweet, but it is mentioned that no additional sugar added. And this is because of this enzyme that we are adding here, which gives the natural sweetness to the product. And then it goes to the decantation where we remove the fibers, and the oat beverage is then further taken into standardization step where you can add stabilizer, emulsifier or flavors if you want here. And then it goes to the UHT treatment, that is ultra high treatment. By doing all this, what you get here is aseptic product, aseptic beverage. It can be sold directly in the market as drinkable beverage, or by doing this process, what you have achieved now is the beverage, which is the raw material for processing it further into value-added products like cheese, yogurts, frozen desserts, or ingredients. It is also important to see here that we are actually recommending infusion here, that is a direct heat treatment. The reason is that this raw material which is coming from the farm, it has lots of bacterial load, and we need to do the treatment which is effective enough for killing the bacteria, but it should not take away the nutrition out of the product. So we can achieve here 143 degrees for 0.09 second holding time, which is high temperature, very, very short time, where you can get effective bacteria kill, but the nutritions, the vitamins, the color, the flavor, they are preserved actually. When we asked our customers, what are your pain points? What are the challenges that you faced? Initially, what they were facing were mainly on the taste, on the color, on the flavor, composition. As the time evolved, as our customers evolved, as the end consumers evolved, then the pain points started moving towards the raw material. What are the different type of raw materials that can be processed on the same plant? Can we do the trials for new raw materials? What are the parameters for those new raw materials? What end product can be produced from new type of raw materials? If I go and ask the customers today, what are your most recent challenges? Then what I will hear is regulations, local regulations, regional regulations. If they're exporting, then the export regulations, the allergens and cleanability, sustainability, automation, and flexibility. So those are the challenges which we hear when we do the voice of customer survey. We get those pain points. And these are the pain points which we work on to mitigate and create our value propositions. So we work for the solutions to fit the every need of our customer for the challenges that you saw on the previous slide. We are here to help you to design environmentally conscious processing solution. We are also here to focus on the applications which are for dairy and dairy alternatives. So we have both the portfolios within our reach. It is important to mention here that there are many people out in the world who cannot digest dairy product because of any reason. It can be lactose intolerance, it can be cow protein intolerance, it can be vegan preferences, it can be animal welfare preferences. For them, it is important that we are able to offer alternative source of nutrition. And that is why those plant-based solutions have started evolving. And whatever we design and offer should be maintenance friendly. The life cycle of the plant is for 15, 20, up to 25 years. So we design the plant which can work for entire life cycle at optimum throughputs with low wastage or no wastage and at lowest total cost of ownership. So here what we are seeing, what is the current global situation? Food insecurity is on the rise. This will continue for next decade. It is not temporary. The food inflation, that is also not transitory phenomena. It will be remaining for near future. So it will be there, a basic reality for the future. There are few geopolitical conflicts which are going on, and food is always getting dragged in the geopolitical conflicts since history, and also today it will continue to be done in that way. And the supply chain is also under pressure if we are talking about export markets, import markets for the food. So the current global situation poses some significant challenges. We have seen this from many trends, and out of these many trends, we have found out the macro trends which are falling under these heads. What are the solutions that we can provide in this situation? We have to design the plant which is sustainable in terms of energy. So moving away from the fossil fuels, using more green energy, that is green electric energy, for example. Designing the process which required less water, which do not generate waste. So waste reduction or waste elimination. Localization and dairy substitution wherever possible. So using local raw materials and producing value-added products from the local raw materials. More value-based produce, here we are talking about functional foods, low sucrose, high protein, probiotic, prebiotic foods, where we can indulge without guilt. And there are specific technologies available to do that, which I will show you in the charts coming up. Also, the cost reduction, where consumers, that is your consumers, if you are manufacturer today listening to me, your consumers, they are becoming more resilient to price increases. And then how to be competitive in the products that you are offering in the market. The product should be more quality, more nutritious, value added, but still the price level should be competitive when we are comparing with the traditional foods. So those are the solutions. In SPX portfolio, where we are, before I show you the flow diagrams, I want to show you the list of components here, which are our own components manufactured in our own facilities, in our own factories. So we have total control on the quality of what we are producing, and we can support you with the total life cycle in terms of spares and service, and also the innovations that we keep on doing as our R&D and NPD, that is new product development cycles. All the units of production, that is fluid handling units like valves and pumps, homogenizers, separators, agitators, mixers, cavitators, plate heat exchangers, tubular heat exchangers, ultra high treatment processing plants, evaporator and spray drying. These all units we have within our portfolio. Wherever we don't have something in our portfolio, we have very strong partnership. I will tell you as the flow chart comes where we have partnership and with whom. So we can offer you the full solution. So starting from the innovation center where we can develop the recipe and product with you, and then giving you the wholesome solution, and then supporting it with spares and services throughout the life cycle. The solution that we offer to you are totally starting from the mixing, blending, dispersing, heat treatment and ultra high treatment, so direct, indirect both, incubation and fermentation, membrane technology, evaporation, spray drying, and valves and pumps. So we have all these solutions within our portfolio to offer you those value added applications, which I will show you. In plant-based applications, where we have our focus areas and where what we see the growth here is in plant-based liquid concentrates and syrups, plant-based beverages, and fermented products like plant-based yogurts and plant-based cheeses, plant-based ingredients, and plant-based ice creams. As SPX Flow, we have been active in this field for last 5 decades, so 50 years. And we have many references in all this, what I am showing you here. We have established references, and those references are with some of the global leaders out in there. So we have lots of know-how and learnings from those references, and also we keep on building on those at our innovation center where we do our developmental trials and run our new product developments. So our recommendation to the manufacturers is that it is strategically wise to adapt evolving dairy and land and plant-based landscape. So this landscape is very dynamic and it is evolving as of now. So to keep a watch on it and adapt how it grows. Until 2021, the plant-based growth was significantly high. It was double digit, around 11.6% compounded average growth rate. In last 2 years, we have seen the growth has decreased. It is half now. So it is in the range of 5.5%. But in coming year, starting from 2025, it is to improve. That is what the reports are indicating on the plant-based application. The growth will come back and we will see some growth on the value-added applications. The reason is the primary processing that is making the beverages. There has been many installations that has happened in previous years. Once we have this primary processing in place, the operations will move towards secondary processing, that is value added processing, which we are talking today. Ice creams or frozen desserts, cheeses and yogurts and ingredients. So it is very good idea to keep this eye on the evolving landscape. Elevate wellness driven innovation, and plant based products are in fact now perceived as wellness driven innovations, because there is lots of area to play there to make it functional, to make it with high fiber, for example, to blend different raw materials and make something which is totally engineered for particular segment of population. So there is lots of place to lots of avenue to play in that segment. And embrace the plant based and sustainable dairying for strategic market expansion. This is what we recommend, and these are also some of the trends which we see from different type of research, market research that we are doing. So now I am going to show you some flow diagrams of value added products, starting first from beverage, which is the base. Here we are creating the base and then we will move into value added products. Initially, when I started the presentation, I showed you the slide for oat beverage. Here on the top, what you see is the soy beverage process, but you can see the difference as you change the raw material. The pre-processing part changes. In the soy, we need blanching, we need grinding, we need decantation, then we need heat treatment. The first heat treatment is to stop the enzymatic activities from the soybeans. Then we go to the mixing or standardizing section, where if there is a need to add any stabilizer, emulsifier, flavor, sugar, or any other sweetener, then it is done here. And this is the final heat treatment, which is for the bacteria kill, in fact. While this is the oat beverage, if you recall from the previous slide, it is looking where you start with the mixing, and then there is enzymatic bioreactor tanks, as we discussed earlier. Depending on the raw material, these processes do change in the upstream. But if we know from the start what are your requirements for the raw material, and if you have need for the flexible plant, we can do this. We can build in the flexibility where you can do multiple raw materials and make the beverage of your choice. One more point here on the slide is that all you see here on the slide, all the equipment and components, we can make those on our own. Wherever we cannot make, for example, decanters, we don't have in our portfolio. There we have partnership with Floatweg Decanters, a German company who are one of the leading suppliers of decanters. So when we come to you, we offer you end-to-end solution. We have our innovation center where we can do the trials for your recipes. And we have lots of references, which gives lots of insights on the process, and we can build further from that process. Second example here you see is about fermentation. The first flowchart here is showing plant-based cheese process. Here, in fact, we have filed a patent called Plantly. What we do here, we start with the raw materials that are concentrated raw materials. It goes through scrape surface heat exchanger for heating, holding, cooling. Then we dose the coagulant or the culture, that is bacterial culture. We do hot filling, and it goes for incubation and cooling. The beauty of this process is it is a lean process. The whole process takes less than 1.5 hours. You don't generate any waste, so zero waste. All the ingredients you put in, they are taken out without any wastage. And you can make all type of cheeses. You can make spreadable cheeses, plant-based. You can make semi-hard cheese, hard cheese. You can also make stretchable cheese, that is plant-based mozzarella type cheese. Here we have lots of collaborations with culture companies like Christian Hansen, like IFF, DuPont. for bacteria cultures. For plant-based starches, we work with agave, we work with Ajinomoto for enzymes. So when we come to you, we can give you the full solution, end-to-end solution on that. And here, the beverage that we created in the previous slide, the beverage, plant-based beverage, is incubated with the bacteria culture. It goes for fermentation, and depending on drinkable yogurt or set yogurt, you can do heating or cooling, because in the set yogurt, you normally heat it up and put in the hot room for set yogurt. In drinkable yogurt, after fermentation, you have to cool it down and then put it in the cold storage. So depending on what is needed, we have this process know-how. We have all the components. Culture dosing is one of the special component, for example, here, where you can dose the culture totally in a hygienic way, with HEPA filters all around the culture dosing tank, traceability with full traceability, and also fruit dosing, dynamic mixing, all those equipment within our portfolio. The Innovation Center for Fermentation is in Memirol, that is in France. And here we do lots of trials for our own, that are internal trials, and also for our customers. There is another example here about ingredients where we are showing membrane and dryer. In previous slides also, for yogurts, for cheese, it is possible to use the membranes to concentrate the protein or to concentrate the total solids. While here what we are seeing, we are concentrating, here it is an example of protein. Let us take an example of soy protein isolate, pea protein isolate, or soy protein concentrate, pea protein concentrate, or any other for that matter. But we can concentrate it via membranes, and then we can dry. We have many references for plant-based ingredients out in the field since many years. So we know the working parameters, and how, which right type of dryer to be chosen. Here what you see is a tall form dryer. Depending on what you are drying, it differs. It can be 3-stage AAA dryer, it can be conical dryer. But here we have our innovation center in Copenhagen, where I sit, and we have all type of combination permutations of evaporator and dryers. So the technologies that are involved here, mixing, membranes, heat treatment, evaporation, drying, that all we have within our portfolio, and we have been doing this since many years. So we can support you on this process also. On frozen desserts, we have again pre-processing, where we have raw material. It can come in liquid form or it can also be in powder form. Then we need pneumatic conveying. It is taken into the mixing section. Here we are showing a liquiverter, which is somewhere in between the TPM and flex mix instant. So depending on what you need, we can choose the right type of mixture, and then it goes to pasteurization. If you are adding fats, then it needs homogenizer, for example, and aging tanks. And then we have continuous freezer, hardening tunnel, and the storage in the cold store. All that you see here, we can provide you end-to-end solution. We don't have continuous freezers and hardening tunnel in our portfolio, but there we have a very good collaboration with ICE Group, where we can offer you the full solution, starting from raw material intake till the hardening tunnel and cold store. So that way you can get the full solution from one supplier rather than going to multiple suppliers. We have also done our own trials for frozen desserts, and there are some possibilities we can discuss if you are interested in developing those applications. We have innovation centers all around the world. Wherever you are, we have our innovation center. So in Silkeborg in Denmark, we have a innovation center for all wet processing for plant-based. So membranes, UHT, that is ultra high treatments, homogenizers, a pigging system. In Soborg, that is in Denmark, near Copenhagen, we have evaporation and spray drying. In Dubai, we have UHT with SIG Combi Block as our partners. So here you can process the product, but you can also pack the product and do the market research, real market research out in the market, because this facility is approved for commercial production actually. So it can be a very good idea. You can produce a small batch and you can take home, sell it in the market, or consume it with the consumers and collect the feedback. In Memirol, France, we have innovation center for fermented products and frozen desserts. In US, it is mainly for mixers and for other wet components, fluid handling components. And Zidu has lots of facilities for fermented products, for ultra high treatment products, for membranes. So it is having lots of possibilities for China market in that region. So all in all, wherever you are, we will be able to help you with those innovation centers in different part of geographies. As I was discussing earlier when we started the webinar, that we have been doing lots of webinar on the subjects by different speakers, by different subject matter experts. So on designing the process line, on extraction, on mixing, homogenization, on heat exchange, UHT, membrane specifically. So each of these topics are chosen, and those webinars are short webinars, like 30 minutes, in which those subject matter experts have gone into details of those technical subjects as CIP, and today what we are doing, plant-based applications. So you are welcome to go and watch those. As we say in SPX Flow, every day is the Earth Day. I will look forward to your question answers that you have been sending, and I will try to answer as many as possible. If I'm not able to answer the questions now because of time constraint, then I will get back to you via email. So keep on sending the questions that you have. If you have something that you want to discuss in more details on certain application, then you can reach out to me on my email. You can also reach out to me on my LinkedIn. So let us start the question answer session. And also don't forget to fill in the feedback form that we send you after the webinar. Thank you, and let's open up for question answers. So hello, thank you for being with us so far. And let me see the questions coming in. So the first question here is, can the same processing plant run multiple raw materials? The answer is yes, it can do. But we need to know upfront that what are the raw materials that you will need to run on the same processing plant, so we can design the upstream process accordingly. Will it require blanching in case of soy? Will it require only grinding in case of almonds and cashews? Or it will require something more for oats, for example, for grains? The downstream process can be commonly used. So upstream process is the bottleneck, I would say. And also, we would also, by knowing what raw materials, what different kind of raw materials you are willing to use, we need to design the process schedule in such a way that we take the more allergen prone product in the process schedule after the less allergen prone product. So the process scheduling also plays a vital role in the design of the CIP. There might be need of designing two separate CIP stations in a case where we have to do separate CIPs for separate raw materials. So it is possible to do, but there are some considerations we need to take into account while designing the plant. And we have done that, in fact, for our few of the customers. They are currently producing different raw materials on the same plant because the plant was designed to do that. Okay, let me see another question. Is the process similar to the dairy processing or entirely different? I would say it is a different process. There are many aspects. The unit equipment might be similar, but the technology is different, the process is different. And we will be able to help you with the processes that we know already. Whatever we don't know, we have innovation centers to do those trials. Seeing the time constraint, I will not be able to take more questions because we had planned for 30 minutes, but please do keep writing to me. I will like to connect with you on emails, and whatever more questions you have, you can write to me. I will be the contact person, so I will try to reply all the questions that I receive. Thank you so much, and have a very nice morning, afternoon, or evening from wherever you are joining. Thank you.